The alpha male, 21 interesting characteristics. We shall discuss the alpha male, his characteristics, and how to cultivate them in this essay. Alphas are well known to everybody. Everyone seems to want to be him or date him, but why is that? Male alpha definition. The pack's inherently dominant leader is the alpha male. He often serves as the face of companies, musicians, brands, and friendship groups. A guy who tends to play a dominating or forceful position in social or professional contexts is an alpha, according to Oxford Languages. The dominant animal in a given group in the animal world is known as the alpha male. This idea is often associated with wolves and the pack leader, but it also applies to human dynamics and behavior. Alpha male characteristics might be misinterpreted, yet it's probable that someone immediately sprang to mind when you read the term. Even though it's common to refer to the bully who bullies others as the alpha male, he lacks the necessary qualities. Let's look at the traits of the real alpha man and how to spot him. The former therapist's list of 21 fascinating qualities of an alpha male. Here are a few characteristics that alpha guys often exhibit. 1. He has faith. The dominant guy isn't arrogant. Having faith, he seems confident since he is aware of his value. It doesn't follow that he is always confident. He just has faith in his inherent deservingness of love, respect, and regard. Most alpha males exhibit or have acquired a secure attachment type. Every action they do conveys a sense of safety in the world and ease in their own skin. It is obvious that he is confident in himself. 2. He is assertive rather than hostile. The dominant guy is a doer. He won't remain passive and wait for someone else to take action. He takes action after realizing what has to be done. Aggressive leaders are sometimes mistaken for alpha men, but the real alpha man doesn't need to be combative. He is aware of the distinction between assertiveness and aggressiveness, and his moral compass leads him to act without attempting to compel others to do so. He is the one who steps up, defends others, or expresses his viewpoint without first checking to see whether it would be well received. 3. He's agreeable. A determined man is an alpha male. He isn't ambivalent, and you won't catch him seeking affirmation before making a choice. He is not scared to stand up for himself since he understands what he wants. This does not imply that he will stomp on anybody else. The dominant guy may express his views without expecting others to share it. In fact, he is mature enough to accept disagreement without letting others' opinions color it. His self-awareness and continued knowledge are the sources of his decisiveness. Peer pressure in no way influences it. 4. He is an innate leader. The leader of the pack is the alpha guy, who was naturally born that way. He is the one people seek to when they need a leader because of his self-assurance and boldness. Since he enjoys being in charge and is aware that it fits him, he actively seeks out positions in which he can exercise his leadership skills. He may naturally be in charge, but that doesn't imply he rules over everyone else. Because he is sensible, compassionate, charming, and ready to put in the work, he is the sort of leader that people like following. He is not the middle management figure who lacks the expertise to effectively lead his subordinates. 5. He expects a lot of himself. He has high expectations for himself, which is one of the characteristics of the alpha male. He has strong ideals and is fully aware of himself. And it's not just chatter. By them, he survives. The alpha guy has certain weaknesses, despite what you may assume. One of them is that he can be much too harsh on himself and sets himself unreasonably high expectations. If he is not careful to exercise self-care and control his workload, his exceptional work ethic and high expectations might result in burnout. Even if he sometimes seems superhuman to the rest of us, he may need to be reminded periodically that he is only an ordinary person. 6. He has high expectations of others. His high standards also apply to other people. Therefore he must be cautious not to be overly critical of them when they fall short of his own expectations. The alpha male does not believe that everyone else is like him, but he does have high expectations for those who are close to him. On the bright side, this usually motivates others to work harder and achieve greater things, but it may also make others feel inferior in comparison. He doesn't intend to be critical with his high expectations. Simply said, he believes in people potential and sees the best in them. Compassion must counteract this, or he will continue to be dissatisfied with mankind. 7. He is effective. The alpha guy has a reputation for being productive. Not simply the idea man who lets others do the hard job, he is the one who really makes things happen. He works quickly and doesn't wait for instructions before doing anything. There is a cause for why he succeeds in life. He is not awaiting the events of life. He is in charge of events. It's just one of his many appealing qualities. 8. He prioritizes fitness. The dominant man is not a true couch potato. He places a strong emphasis on being in shape and is self-aware. While it's conceivable for an alpha guy to become into a mirror-obsessed gym rat, most of them can concentrate on fitness without being completely narcissistic. They are concerned about remaining fit and active. He typically has aspirations outside of his professional and romantic life. He also has fitness objectives. He won't be the kind of guy to ignore anything until his health is in danger. He works much too hard to let things get that far. 9. He makes an effort to seem good. He isn't only concerned about staying in shape. He also makes an attempt to look well. He intentionally creates an excellent first, or second, or third, etc. impression. He is concerned with his appearance, his cleanliness, and how he portrays himself to others. This does not necessarily imply that he is status-driven. Simply because it makes him feel good, he makes an effort to appear attractive. He will make an additional effort to appear presentable on a first date, so he won't just turn up looking like a complete slob. 10. He is lucrative. The alpha male's success is understandable given all these fantastic traits. He gets things done and motivates people to support the cause because of his charm and his can-do attitude. He typically enjoys fulfilling relationships, a promising job, and the respect of those around him. People who aren't quite on his level may get resentful of him because of his success, but he isn't bragging about it. Instead of receiving life on a silver platter, he succeeds because he works hard. Despite being born into luxury, he doesn't take it for granted or anticipate receiving anything without first working for it. 11. He is persistent. The dominant guy never gives up. He has a strong sense of perseverance and a goal-oriented attitude. Although his strict standards might give him the impression of being unyielding and unforgiving, the fact is that he is fiercely loyal. He is persistent because he doesn't mind putting in the effort when he believes it will be worthwhile. The good news is that this doesn't simply concern his professional aspirations and physical objectives. He also works on his relationships. The alpha guy understands that strong friends and love relationships take work to maintain and are worth the effort. He won't give up lightly on a good thing, and whether it's a romantic commitment or an offer to be a member of his inner circle, he lets the people in his life know he's all in. 12. His self-awareness. The self-awareness of the alpha guy is one of his characteristics. He doesn't believe he is faultless. He is aware of this. He is self-aware enough to see his shortcomings, yet he goes beyond self-awareness. He's making a conscious effort to improve as a guy. This is not the kind of person who would list all of his shortcomings and then ask you to ignore them. He is the one who can take responsibility for his mistakes and provide an apology. Although he's not perfect, he's a nice guy and he's making an effort to learn from his errors. 13. He is knowledgeable. Your life's alpha man is intelligent. It's one of his sexiest traits, in fact. He does not just engage in meaningless chat. He is intelligent, fascinating, and enthusiastic. He doesn't wait for someone else to start the discussion, he may go deeply into your hobbies or his. This man won't make you chat about work and the weather all the time. He'll share his other ideas since he has them. While he may be somewhat opinionated, he also has the capacity to learn new things and adjust his views when confronted with knowledge that contradicts them. 14. He is emotionally wise. The alpha man isn't merely academically intelligent. He has emotional intelligence. He has a natural ability to read a room and a propensity to make others feel at ease. He may get criticism from less confident friends for being too sensitive, but he understands the value of showing compassion. A strong friend and companion, the alpha guy might be a result of his emotional intelligence. Although he may not always know what is the best thing to say or do, he can tell when something is off and won't ignore it. You can count on the alpha guy to be a solid support system when things are hard. 15. He is always honest. Being brutally honest and being honest are two different things. Although the alpha male believes that being cruel is not required, he is always truthful. Instead of telling his friends what they want to hear, he gives them the information they need. He is sincere while yet speaking the truth. Even though the truth might be painful at times, the alpha in your life will never intentionally injure you or disregard your emotions. He's more inclined to be straightforward with you while expressing empathy for how painful what he's saying could be. He probably won't sugarcoat it if he feels your new love interest is terrible news, but he also won't be rude about it. 16. Driven and ambitious. Straight up the ladder, alpha guys ascend. They succeed because they are determined and ambitious. The alpha in your life won't hang around in a meaningless profession that isn't fulfilling to him. He has plans and is carrying them out. He doesn't achieve success just due to charm and good appearance. He works hard for what he has and gets things done. It's hardly unexpected that he ends up becoming the leader that everyone else follows when you combine his inherent tenacity with this potent ambition. 17. He is a natural partner magnet. Although the alpha guy is quite happy by himself, he draws partners quickly. Why not, you ask? He has some steadfast fundamental principles, is intelligent and kind, takes excellent care of himself, and is self-assured without being egotistical. When it comes to love and romance, he will be appealing to many people. But it does not imply that he will accept everyone. The alpha guy may draw a number of possible partners, but he will search for someone who will fit into his life. While looking for someone with whom he can share interests and principles, he also wants someone who can enhance the life he is preparing. While some alphas seek for a beta who would gladly play a supportive role in the relationship, others desire another alpha to be a complete partner. It all relies on the kind of life and long-term goals he has in mind. 18. He's adorable. Wherever the alpha goes, he charms everyone. He can't just switch off this kind of innate charm. It involves a mixture of diplomacy and plain old-fashioned human decency. He is a person who everyone enjoys being around due to his emotional intelligence and sensitivity. Of course, there is one group that he can never win over, those who are insecure and see him as a danger. Hey, you can't win all the time. You're not a taco. People who aren't as certain, comfortable, and successful will probably find him annoying, but it's not his fault. He may not even be aware of it. Unless they have certain troubles that have nothing to do with him, most people find him appealing. 19. He is good. A real alpha man's benevolence is one of his main assets. Because of this, a forceful, overbearing individual can never genuinely be an alpha. Alphas don't dominate with an iron hand, rather, they lead naturally and with tenderness. The pack's leader watches out for them. He will play to his strengths, draw attention to others' strengths, and support individuals where they are most vulnerable. He can make himself appear wonderful without harming anybody else. He would never consider making such moves since it is not an alpha move. 20. He is lowly. The alpha man is modest despite his greatness. He doesn't undersell himself on social media. He doesn't feel the slightest need to boast since he is actually so confident. If he does disclose his achievements, it is usually in a straightforward manner that doesn't raise any eyebrows. The guy on the dating app boasting about all of his achievements and positive traits isn't the real alpha. He doesn't feel the need to offer you his whole resume. He is proud of his job, but he doesn't need to brag about it. 21. He works well in a team. Although they are often in charge, alphas make excellent teammates. The reason for this is because the alpha doesn't believe he must handle everything alone. He understands delegation and how to capitalize on his team's advantages. Since he is aware of his shortcomings, he is also able to accept them and let others fill in where they may be more qualified. The dominant guy recognizes that when the team succeeds, everyone benefits. He is not seeking attention for himself at the cost of others. Even though life isn't a competition, if it were, the alpha male wouldn't have an issue handing out participation awards so that everyone could feel good about themselves. Since he isn't comparing himself to anybody else, he doesn't need an award to feel like the greatest. Can you learn how to behave like an alpha male? Anyone of any gender may be the alpha. These are traits that anybody can possess, and in fact, anyone can cultivate. Your personality type is often intrinsic, however. You could be more of a beta with some alpha features, or more of a delta with some alpha traits. Although, undoubtedly, the job of the alpha is a desirable one, the issue about personality types is that it's not really a question of one being superior than the others. In the social framework, every personality has a place to fit in and a benefit. Just as not everyone can follow, not everyone can be a leader. If everyone did the same thing, life would be fairly crazy. The alpha is so alluring because he is at ease with himself and his position. Because he is aware of himself, he does it well. He is acting in a normal way for him. Yes, it is feasible for someone else to acquire these traits, but the alpha male has discovered that it is ideal for all of us to play to our strengths, address our flaws, and build teamwork skills.